Right, so it's that time of the month again for roadmap or the updates from Eduardo.
Great. So, packed month we had, in the last month. We are shipping Flyte 1.5 today, and I just want to highlight some of the features that are going out. We are finally supporting Python 3.11 officially. So, for all the Python aficionados out there, 3.11 is in. We also revamped the data persistence layer. So now instead of our ad hoc code, we rely on FSPAC, the file system spec that essentially exists to provide a familiar API that will work for whatever storage backend you have, S3, SSH, FTP, GCP. You as a user, you don't have to do anything to benefit from this change. And correct, Fabio, you no longer have to do that.
That is wonderful.
Yes, I know, right?
That makes the image like 800 megabytes smaller.
Yeah.
And so much faster to build also.
Yeah. Also, Fabio, there is streaming directory and streaming support. So yeah, check it out and let us know what you think.
Okay, you're stealing my thunder, man. I was going to talk about that, but great. It's a great segue. We are in this release, we're shipping a few experimental features. One being this thing that Keaton just mentioned, like we're shipping support for streaming files and directories, so Flyte files and Flyte directories using FSPAC. Yeah, let us know how it feels. Like we're pretty pumped about this feature. Another experimental feature that we're shipping with 1.5 is support for partial tasks. Wait for the details in the docs, but essentially you'll be able to partially specialize a task with, basically freeze inputs to tasks and use them in downstream tasks, sub workflows, and everything. Awesome. I think this is a piece of feedback that we heard the community asking about for the longest time, and it's finally in. But we also, like in 1.5, we spent a lot of time laying the foundation for better perf insights. Like again, listening to the community, like people are always curious to understand like what is Flyte doing in terms of like scheduling decisions. So we did a lot of work to start to expose this in the UI. It's not going to be fully out in 1.5 yet, but we expect that in the next release, 1.6 and beyond, you'll be able to actually see what is what the Flyte backend is doing in terms of like when your container is being started, like when it's like writing outputs and all that. So again, another this was a question that was asked over and over, in by the community. We listened to it, we're working on it, and I think this unlocks a lot of the perf work that we're going to be investing in the near future. So again, not a lot to show in 1.5, but we were hard at work making sure that the foundations are there for this to happen in the future. Speaking of the future, in 1.6 and beyond, one feature that we are also investing in is what we're calling external backend plugins. So you'll be able to write backend plugins in Python, and the life cycle of the plugin will all be managed by Flyte. So instead of writing plugins in Go, which was the way up to now, you'll be able to iterate and write your plugins using a more familiar language, Python, with a dev experience that matches what you expect, meaning the DevX for these external backend plugins will be fantastic because you'll be able to run them locally and expect that they run properly when you finally deploy them alongside Propeller. Another feature that's coming in 1.6 is support for other databases. We've been hard at work, trying to support MySQL, but this is just the entry point. Like if you have your favorite database and you want to make sure that you have that option when you deploy Flyte, let us know. Contributions are welcome. But again, this is more about like laying the foundation so that other databases are also supported, including, hint, SQLite. But yeah. Someone asked about, wait, let me see the chat here. Monorepo. This is also coming, Byron, but it's way less exciting, but also coming. Like this is a thing that we want to heavily invest in 1.6, so expect solid news when it comes to the monorepo in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess this is it. There's a lot happening, and just by if you hang around like in the OSS Slack or in the GitHub discussions, like you see that the uptake in the contributions from the community, it's just like it's growing exponentially. It's amazing. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. The Flyte maintainers.
Awesome. Thank you, Eduardo. Any other question, comment about roadmap? Yeah, Ketan, please.
So I wanted to add, like, I think people are contributing, and I know some people have pinged and asked for, hey, what's happening with my code review? We're trying to keep up. It's a little, so work with us, come to the channel and ping in the channel. Probably we should have there's a contribute channel, right, David? We should probably, flag the PR over there. We would love to add more approvers to PR so that they can help us take some load off. That would be really, really helpful. And for me personally, I think one thing that I'm most excited about is the entire data persistence layer migration. I think that not only reduces the size of the images, it makes it possible to do fantastic things with the persistence. Like, completely streaming is one thing I mentioned, but also reducing, using async, etc., which is will be coming soon. So we need help in making all of Flytekit async. Anybody who's interested in contributing, let us know. This will help a lot in a ton of different use cases. So
Ketan stealing all sorts of thunder this meeting. Yeah, look out for the eager mode RFC. I'll ping this in the channels and stuff. So look out for those.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Thank you all for sharing. That's great.